Yo, Frijan here. Welcome to my channel. Blah 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 blah. Today I have on the line my three guests: Loicmaster, Glenn, and Spacepotato. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
So every one of you already made podcast with me, so you know the drill. So let's not get things too complicated. Let's go straight to the subject, which is male mental health and the stigma surrounding male mental health and how the society perceives men who struggle with some mental health issues. It doesn't have to be illness, it can be illness, but it can be like, I don't know, some kind of phobia or whatever, something lighter. Even then, men don't want to get help because they are scared that they will be perceived as weak, as pussies, and shit like that. Guys, let's start with who I have here. Seth, Glenn.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, what can you say about that?
Well, in my personal experience, there was definitely some stigma involved when I kind of got sick with my depression and my PTSD. It was like I was, treated by friends and family like there was, something wrong with me, and it was something like I shouldn't talk about, or it was difficult talking to them about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like when I was younger, like in school, I remember that I would like always be treated like if I got aggressive or something because of my autism, basically. It would get treated as if I was just not strong enough to hold back my aggression or something.
Okay, I see. Glenn suffers from Asperger's syndrome. You can find him in a couple previous podcasts. He's my right hand right now. And I'm very glad, Glenn, and I will like to hear more from you, but let's move to Loicmaster now.
So my problem with mental health stigma was that my school has pretty much nailed the mentally ill children and how to treat them. So there was one girl that had depression, but I'm not really sure if she had it or she just pretended.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like she had it, and they just told her like, if you want to leave and be alone, you can do that. Just I don't know, say to the teacher that you want to leave, that like, so he would understand. But when I was diagnosed with schizophrenia and I went to school, I told my teacher that, okay, I have a problem and I need to go out and take my pills. I don't want to do this in the public. She told me to stay in the class, and basically she would let me out, and I almost got a panic attack, and I didn't get it just because I hold everything back so I don't show that in public, because if I show that, I'll basically be seen as a fucking weirdo, and I don't know, it would crash my image.
So we have these words: weirdo, not strong enough, so weak, right? And that that's so bad. We'll go to the subject, which is how do we stop that later. And now, Spacepotato.
so most of the mental health problems in our country originate because of physical abuse. People, especially men, are expected to just put up with it. I actually have it far better than a lot of my cousins. Like, my uncle will very regularly beat up my cousin, and almost everyone in the neighborhood will hear it when it happens, basically. But a lot of this happens, and it basically sort of conditions you to believe that that is the only way you can sort of enforce, I don't know, your ideas onto others. And it leads to men being physically abusive themselves, really.
Okay, so it's like closed circle. Aggression
Yeah, and
fuels aggression. Yeah.
and it also like contributes to this very unhealthy culture where basically you're telling people to just put up with things like this that are actually bad. There's also the fact that if anyone gets a mental like illness, they're treated like outcasts in society, and like their family, their friends are all shamed for associating with them, which is why almost no one, not even women, want to go get help. But it especially affects men because we are expected to be the breadwinners of our families.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. My father was probably mentally ill, and I suspect schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, something with psychotic features. And he never ever even went to a psychologist even once, because I think he was so ashamed of that. He didn't want to admit that something is wrong. He was self-medicating with alcohol, and it killed him eventually. But I feel so bad for him that I wish that I would be like adult like I am now, not like 18 thinking that it's adult. I mean like real mature. Take him by the hand and drag him to the fucking therapist. I wish I could do that, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Spacepotato told me something interesting about the ratio of women and men suicides in Bangladesh.
But disproportionately, all suicides are, like 89% of suicides are from women, and it's mostly caused by domestic abuse, which again stems from the fact that men sort of just vent by beating up people.
Yeah, so it's completely different in Europe and USA, where most suicides are done by males, most completed suicides. We have even in Poland something like a saying that samobójstwo po męsku, which means like manly suicide, like not taking pills and keeping fingers crossed for them to work, but a real deal like rope and stuff. I know that many people die out of drug overdose, medicine overdose, but this is mostly woman kind of choice of doing it, because we don't want to pain, we want just to fall asleep, or some of us are just seeking help this way, kind of. Not every single case, but many. We women, we like to pick this kind of suicide option. And yeah, Glenn, can you tell us more? What do you think about this philosophically?
Well, I do agree that like there's a difference between the way that men and women like handle suicides and suicide attempts. I do think that men are often like more serious about it when they get to that point.
More drastic, I would say.
Yeah, more drastic in their
Yeah.
actions. That's what I meant.
Yeah, of course.
And I do think that there must be like it must have something to do with the fact that men have a harder time reaching out for help, you know?
Yes, they do. They absolutely do. It isn't only my father and like other guys like 20 years ago, but it's also now in 2020. There are places in the world, maybe except based Argentine, that in those places, when you are mentally ill, you are considered a subhuman, outcast, a scum, I don't know, like idiot, everything. And even if it's better, like in Poland, when you have depression, like my female friend has depression, everyone is like, oh, depression, like it's normal in these times, but people perceive her that she probably won't make a good mother, despite the fact that she has 2 kids and she's trying her best to raise them. And it's this kind of problem with women and mental health, that people think that we won't be a good wives or mothers, and that's pretty much it. And when it comes to males, it's much only on a different level. There is something completely different about it, not about raising children or being a good husband, but about being a proper male. You know what I mean?
Yeah, being like the man who's supposed to be strong and independent and all that stuff. I think it's like a sort of curse that's been placed on us, I think.
Well, yeah, and I talked with my boyfriend LSD about it, and he said that there is a point in why this is the way it is, because men are, in his opinion, the men are supposed to be the stronger ones. Like, let's say, in my current work, a guy he touched me on the thigh and he called me pretty pussy. Yeah, he called me like that, and he was like, "Oh, you are so pretty," all the time. Like, I don't mind people telling me that I'm pretty, but touching and calling me a pussy, not so much, I have my dignity, and I told my boyfriend about it, and he came and talked with the guy, like, you better watch out what you are saying, blah blah. And later he told me that when I told him about this podcast, that in his opinion men are supposed to be like that, because what would I do if he said that he won't talk with him because it might affect his mental state, And in my opinion, the stronger one should be the person who is in a better mental state. Gender doesn't matter. If he was in such a bad state that he would barely leave the house or the bed or wash himself, I would react myself. But I let him, because it's like what women in relationship do. We let men do the men thing. You can be feminazi all you want, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. So sorry for my rant, but do you agree with me?
Yeah, I
Well,
actually.
Yeah?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, to some extent, but you have to take into consideration that in the West, we sort of have this, the issue with, third wave feminism, which basically demonizes men. And I think it is sort of seeped into our mentality as well, that men are bad because we did all these things in the past. And that sort of also contributes to how we sort of perceive ourselves.
This is feminists and incels are more or less on the same level. Incels are more memeic, but there are some few real misogynists, and there are quite a few real feminazis who, in my opinion, should get some common sense and stop spreading bullshit like mansplaining and manspreading and just I don't even know what the fuck else. But we will do podcast about incels other time. This time, Loicmaster, maybe you want to add something?
Yeah, so basically how it was in my family, the woman was a caretaker and caregiver, and the man was a provider. And that's how I grew up, thinking that a man should provide for his family and do everything to protect it, while the mother is taking care of the children, of the husband, of herself, of the house. Basically, the male is bringing in resources and the woman processes them, if we make it simply. But I also came to the conclusion that if one of them cannot do the role, the other one must fulfill to their needs or to their abilities. That if a male, like, he cannot go to a really dangerous job that pays a lot, then a woman should find a job that would raise their wage, their family wage, just so they can survive. Like both should contribute. Or if the woman is not kind of in the mood for caring for the kids, then the man should do it, because, well, that's his kids and that's his house and that's his wife. Basically, we all have roles, but we are not banned from doing the other role when we can and when we should. But that also applies to mental health. Like, if a man is mentally ill, he is viewed as not able to fulfill his role. But in a normal society, it will just be seen like he's not subhuman. he just has problems. And
in normal society that I wish it would happen one day, yes. In
yes,
utopia.
now it's just like, if you have mental health issues, you're just told to take it like a man and live it out.
Yeah, like, or the memes that depression isn't real, etc. Most women wouldn't say that, because we don't have to pretend that we are stronger than we are. Some do, but let's say you are depressed, right? And you don't want to admit to that, so you deny it.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Glenn, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think that actually I was depressed quite a while before my trauma happened, and I became completely, like, very severely depressed. And I think that I didn't come out with it because it was just, a sign of weakness, and it would have made people look down on me because I would have admitted to having a depression.
No, I'm the kind of person that I work since I was 17, and I was always wearing pants, so to speak, and I was working pretty hard, so I'm not afraid of work. Even feminazis wouldn't go to construction site, and I've been working in a construction site. Yeah, I was working there, and I have a weird mix of woman and man brain, and I understand a lot. And I feel sometimes just like you guys feel, like I don't want anyone to see my weakness. Anyone.
Yeah,
Maybe.
exactly. And it's very difficult to, like, put yourself over that fact and actually admit that you need help. And
yeah,
it would be
many women are like, have princess syndrome, that you have to do everything for them. Some women on the other end of the spectrum are like, oh, I will do everything myself, I don't need you, oh, go away, you are useless, right? I can open this fucking jar. I can open most jars too, but I still give it to my boyfriend so he can do it for me. Just so you know, guys, that it might look like that sometimes, but sometimes when I'm unable to do something, like when I was in a very bad state and I lost my job and I had to call my boss to ask about money, so my boyfriend did it for me, because I was too anxious to do that. And right now, if he felt bad, if he had fever or he had bad mental state and he asked me to, I don't know, do something for him, I will do everything for him. Even beat up a guy who would pick on him, I don't know. I will try to do everything for him. If I not succeed, then at least I tried, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the most important thing about a relationship is that there's a sort of balance, and that, like, the power goes to the one who is most mentally stable, as you said before.
Yeah, so there is one thing that I want out of this podcast. So guys will, and the girls too, will listen to it, and you will rethink it, how it looks like in your culture, in your country. And if it looks like in most countries that mentally ill people, but mostly men, is perceived as weak when they admit that they have problems and they want help, that's, we will see that there are people who have different perspective on this, and we want to talk about this, and we welcome everybody who would like to talk about this. And yeah, you are not alone, guys. That's the point that I wanted to make. The other point is that whatever you think society thinks, and you have mental health problems and you need treatment, don't give a shit about what society thinks. Think about people like us, like other people who have similar view on these things. Go for help, get treated in any way you can. If you fail to find a good psychiatrist or therapist, Don't give up and try to look again, because you might change psychiatrist 5 times, but one day you will end up with someone proper for you, and he will help you no matter of your problems, if this is just some phobia or this is some serious mental illness. There is help.
Yeah, I think that people should really not hesitate to get help, and they shouldn't be afraid of what their family or friends think, because if you wait longer, then it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, like with toothache. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Go treat it right away when it starts hurting a bit, or even before. When you see the first symptoms, go get treatment. If you don't know about the illness, check this channel, because I made videos about various mental illnesses, or read about it. Internet is everywhere now, guys. If you want to talk with us, if the guys here will agree, I can post our Discord tags, so you can talk with us. For sure, Glenn and me. I don't know about Loic and Spacepotato.
Well, you can paste mine everywhere you want.
Okay, so Glenn has Asperger's syndrome, Loicmaster has schizophrenia, and Spacepotato has potatoes. I guess. Space potatoes. What do you have, mate?
Well, I have depression and trauma, basically.
Yeah, depression and trauma. I forgot. I'm sorry. I met so many people with mental illnesses over last few months that I mix it up. But
yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah. So, do you have anything to add, Glenn?
Well, I think that if there's a chance that we could help someone, then it'll have been worth it. And I think that if you are in doubt at all, that you should contact one of us and just talk about it with one of us, because we have experience with it, and we've had experience getting help as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe we can do something for you.
Yeah, of course. Loicmaster.
I'ma add just this. Don't self-diagnose. Go to a doctor.
Yeah, that's true. You might suspect that you might have something. You are doing the online tests, which are kind of meme-ish. But yeah, they kind of, if you score 100 on schizoid, doesn't mean you have schizoid. It means that you should go to a psychiatrist and tell him about it, about your symptoms. Yeah, of course, Loicmaster, very good. And Spacepotato.
Well, I would say that please do not hide whatever you're feeling inside. I know people make fun of you, but it's just that. And if you feel uncomfortable talking about it with anyone, you should try and find someone who's actually comfortable hearing you vent about whatever it is that is bothering you. It will help you. If you suppress it, it's gonna get worse, and it's going to manifest itself in some form that you're probably not gonna like. So yeah, please be careful and take care of yourself.
Exactly. From me, I ranted a lot today about it, and from me is that I really wish my father was alive and he was treated nicely, so he wouldn't have to drink and he wouldn't have a stroke and he wouldn't die at my 16 year of living. So yeah, don't end up like my dad, please, guys. Don't. And I think that's it. If any of you have something more to say, now is the time.
Well, I just wanted to add again that if you are in doubt at all, just try and contact somebody, at least. Even if it's just for a chat, just get somebody to give you the right advice, and there's plenty of people out there who would be willing to help you.
Yeah. If you are a girl suffering from mental health issues, you can talk with a girl, talk with me, no problem. If you are a guy and would rather talk with another guy about it, talk with these guys. We are spending most of our time on Discord, so yeah, don't hesitate and contact us. Spacepotato, anything?
Nah, I think I've said
Nah.
everything I want to say.
You said a lot and it was all very informative and great. So thank you guys so much, so much again, and see you next time, I guess. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.